Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Faces of Growth, the podcast where we dig into the soil of our souls, clear the blockages for growth, and bloom into our authentic selves. So, today we are going to talk about tower moments. If you are into tarot, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you don't, let me explain. So, a tower moment refers to the tower card in the tarot, which is a major arcana card. And the imagery for this card is basically a tower that is crashing and burning. In the traditional Rider-Waite Smith deck, there's like people falling out of the tower windows, there's lightning bolts coming down. And so basically, what this represents and this symbolizes is a moment in our life where our foundation is crumbling, right? Something that we have built, something that we have created is crashing and burning around us. And for most people, the Tower card is like the worst card to get during a tarot reading. And for me, I have been picking the Tower card a lot since the middle of May, or since the middle of 2021. I would say around May is when I started getting the Tower card. And basically it represents a time in your life where there's going to be massive shifts. And what needs to happen is the things, the structures, the relationships, the foundation that we've built around us has to be cleared so that we can rebuild and create something even better. However, when you're in the middle of a tower moment, like I said, it is not fun. It is uncomfortable. There's a lot of change. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of reflections that need to happen. So think about like huge moments in your life, like being diagnosed with a life-altering illness of some sort, getting a divorce, losing a job, the death of a loved one, or something like 2020, where there's this global pandemic that in our lifetime we had never experienced before. That was a huge collective power moment for the world. And as difficult as and uncomfortable as they can be to go through, sometimes life really just needs to be shaken up in order for us to realign and to get to a better place. So, why am I talking about this? Like I said, since May of 2021, I have just been going through tower moment after tower moment after tower moment. And when I think that I'm on steady ground and solid ground, something comes into my path and is like, no, the work that you're doing is not done. And once again, I am in the middle of this transitional time. And I think I'm almost onto the other side of my most recent tower moment, which is why I can talk about this more because I want to talk to you guys about kind of like my process that I use to get myself through. So, when I'm experiencing a life shakeup, it you can't stop yourself from feeling stressed about it, right? You can't stop yourself from being like, oh my God, this is just a lot to process, a lot to, reflect upon, a lot to get used to the idea that life has to change. So for my most recent tower moment in um, May of this year, my boyfriend and I moved back to my hometown in New York from Virginia. And 3 months after being here, we quickly learned that our plan that we had in place and we thought was going to allow us some time, a couple of years to figure out what we wanted to do next, that plan was not going to work because of outside forces and miscommunications, basically. So, since September, the beginning of September, we've been in this place of limbo of like, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? Where are we going to live, basically? And a couple of weeks ago, we made the decision and everything like lined up very quickly. We will be moving back to Virginia. And it just worked out so smoothly to me. That was a sign of, yes, this is what we are supposed to be doing. However, the process to getting there and making that decision and looking at all of our options and figuring out what the landscape actually was for us was incredibly stressful. And it was just like a tower moment. And, you know, people who I thought had my back did not have my back. And so it just a lot of things, relationships, my identity as a person who lives in this place in New York have been crumbling. And so through the stress of all of that, these are the things that I did to kind of take care of myself and to allow myself to just go through the process of letting life unfold for me and figuring out what was next. The first thing that I did was I slowed down. I am the type of person who likes to be busy. I like to create. I like to have a million projects going at once. But when you're in the middle of a tower moment, that is not the time to like have so many irons in the fire. So everything came off of my plate that did not need to be on my plate. Basically, I saw my clients because I'm a therapist. I took care of like normal adulting responsibilities. And then there really was not any other projects going on. If you're a listener of Strange Stories with a Seeker and a Skeptic, you can tell we have not had an episode in a really long time. And um, I kind of pulled back on writing projects. I pulled back on posting to social media. Like I said, cleared everything off on my plate so that I could rest more, so that I could journal, I could meditate, I could do yoga. So basically, just doing things that would take care of my mind, body, and soul. That was my main focus. I was not pouring as much into other people because I really needed the time and energy to pour into myself. Another thing that I spent a lot of time doing during this period was just reflecting on what was not working in my life, reflecting on why this tower moment came about the way that it did, because I am a firm believer of our experiences are a culmination of what we co-create with our energy and maybe even things that we signed up for ahead of time, soul contracts, that type of thing. I know that does not resonate with everybody, and that's totally okay, but those are my beliefs. And so I spend a lot of time just going within and just looking at how did we get here and how do I never get to this place again. What have I learned and where do I want to go? So especially the last couple of days, and I'm recording this in the middle of December. You're not going to hear this until probably the beginning of January. But I'm, preparing for the end of the year, the beginning of a new year. And really, we're moving like 2 days after Christmas. So 2025 to me is a complete blank slate. There's so many possibilities. Like, I'm moving into a new house, I'm moving to a different city, different state. Um, there's so many possibilities of what I can make 2025 look like. And so that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. It's just like dreaming of like, what would my most ideal life look like in this new phase that I'm going to be in, this new season of my life? And part of that reflection is also looking at now, how do I align myself with the most idealized version of myself? How do I align myself with being healthier and happier and more abundant? 2024 was just a really difficult year for me personally because I spent the entire year moving. We made the decision to move to New York at the end of January, and then we moved in May, and then we figured out we were probably going to have to move in September again. So it's like there was like this whole year has been felt like I'm in the process of moving. So really figuring out like how do I just have a smoother existence than I did in 2024? And also, like, how do I learn from these experiences? What are the lessons? And I have learned a lot. I've learned about sticking up for myself, advocating for myself, setting boundaries, not hiding my feelings just to keep the peace. So I do see how these experiences were for my growth, even though they were really uncomfortable. And I think that's really important to do probably when you're closer to the other side of a tower moment, because when you're in the middle of it, it's really hard to see how this is happening for you. But I do believe that our challenges and our experiences, they are happening for us to evolve, to become a better version of ourselves. And the last thing that I've done to kind of help myself through this tower moment is I have been leaning very heavily into my spirituality for guidance and for support and comfort. So, spending a lot of time meditating and connecting with my authentic self, I have used my divination tools like pulling oracle and tarot cards for readings and for guidance and communication from my spirit guides. And then I'm doing a lot of energetic work. So a lot of clearing, a lot of transmutation, a lot of releasing old and limiting beliefs, releasing anger and frustration and resentment. So anything that this tower moment has stirred up for me that has made, you know, life more difficult, or just like feelings that are feelings that are of a slower vibration, right? So, like I said, anger, resentment, frustration, all of that. I'm doing the work to bring it to the surface, to transmute it, and to release it. So, that is not the energy that I'm carrying with me into the next phase. And lastly, what I've been doing is just trying to find gratitude and appreciation for life wherever I can. So, gratitude for my parents who have been amazing in helping us out. Gratitude for my partner, um, for walking through this with me and being a good support. Gratitude for my friends who have been here for me. Gratitude for the resources that we have. Gratitude that things have worked out and aligned so quickly so that we know where we're going at the end of the year. And just appreciation for, where I am right now, appreciation for the food on my table, for, the beautiful place that I'm living in right now, appreciation for, this might sound silly, but like hope. I appreciate that I still have hope in my heart, that I have not been completely jaded by all my various different tower moments over the last couple of years, and that I do know things are going to get better, and they already are. Um, since, you know, a couple days ago, we closed on our house in Virginia, and since then, I have come alive again. I felt like I was like a shell of myself for a really long time, and as soon as we got back from that trip, um, I have just been in creative mode and planning mode, and have such a clear vision for where I'm going and the things I want to do with my business and the things I want to do with this podcast, that it's just like opened up. So it's like things had to crumble, the energy had to be cleared, and now I'm in the place where I'm building the new foundation, and I'm going to create a bigger, better, sturdier, more beautiful tower that is aligned with my most authentic self. So that is what I have for you today. I would love to hear from you guys if you have experienced any recent tower moments, and what did you do to get through it yourself? For me, it was really slowing down, reflecting, and connecting in with my spirituality. And that has helped me a lot. And like I said, there's been very difficult moments, there's been tough days, there's been lots of tears, but I am on the other side, or very close to being on the other side. And life, I can already tell, is going to be so much better. All right. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.